The Eitz Chaim could have said that also, but what he did say seems to take into account something further. No, it's not.
That's what the Rebbe is asking. What is it taking into account? That's exactly the question.
Okay.
And what's the answer?
Well, if none at all, then the brightness of you wouldn't. Everything would exist on the level of Or Ein Sof as it was bechatchila. There would be no definition of anything.
No, that's not the answer. He said there is sphirot agnuzis. In the Ein Sof there is sphirot agnuzis.
But as they are pshitas, they would remain in the state of pshitas.
There's still this source for the kav.
Right, but they would be in that sense. In that case they would be on the level of pshitas.
It doesn't say the word pshit. Show me any place the word pshitus.
They would be on the level of being.
You are not listening to the answer. You are making up your own answer. I'm sorry to maybe you do have a better answer than ever.
Oh, that's the question. If I have a better answer.
But that is what the tendency is. You're always smarter than the other guy, right?
Wow. I'm impressed with myself. I better leave the shir now.
Let's look inside. Let's look inside.
Since we use this expression so often, how do you exactly translate sphirot agnuzos?
The sphirot that are concealed.
I know you mean concealed, but is there like a deeper meaning in gnuzos? Because it would be behelem. Behelem is concealed, right? So what's the difference?
Gnuzos means more than behelem. They are treasured away, not to be accessed, like a gniza. Treasure.
Yeah, gniza is what you take, you put under the ground, right?
Gniza means that which you take and you hide away for posterity, for a long time. Yeah.
For higher purposes.
Right.
Okay.
Let's look at the top line over here. You have it? The kasher meir ho'eir shu b'mechinas gvul. Okay. Prior to that, the Rebbe says that if there were no tzimtzum at all, there would be no possibility to be megala the kav. Why? Why not? We have the sphirot agnuzis. Why couldn't you be megala the kav without the tzimtzum at all? The answer is the kasher meir ha'oyer shuhu b'bchinas bli gvul, because while the oil that is bechinat bli gvul, and we discussed the whole inyan bechinat bli gvul, the oil that is bechinat bli gvul, which means an oil that represents a totally different, the original reality, so to speak, bli gvul, oil that completely defies the concept of it not being and coming into being. When you have that type of oil, Eino Nikor Klal is not at all recognizable. The oil that is in the realm of Gvul, that has the Gvul quality. And the Rebbe is not finished. V'haino, which means the kasher hoya giloi oir sof kirimat tzimtzum, that when there was the giloi oir sof before the tzimtzum, hoyu ho'es sphirot hagnuzis beteilim legamri b'oir sof habli gvul. Then the sphirot hagnuzis were not recognizable. They were total bottle, not pshitus. They were totally bottle in the oir sof habli gvul. The Oir Sof Habli Gvul made it completely unobtrusive.
So this is more than pshitas.
It's not a question of pshitas. It's a different concept.
Different a different situation.
different principle.
Paltiel and Pshitas.
That's not the point. He's not talking about Pshitas. He's talking about...
No, I said I want to compare what the Rebbe Rashad is talking about as distinct from Pshitas.
There is a Pshitas, even after they are Nimshach, they're called Pshitas, like Abba Kelim.
Okay.
They would not be nikor, they would not be recognizable, identifiable. Why? Because they will be bottled within the Ayin Sof applicable. They were bottled Betel Negami by Ayin Sof applicable, Ayin Sof applicable.
And that would be so after, if you dealt with the Kav as
let me give you a handle on this.
Yes.
It's still going up with a very fine muscle over here. I just want to give us a handle at our level. We have a dining room with a dining room table. Everybody knows what that is? Can we all relate to that concept? A dining room with a dining room table. And it is well appointed, so to speak. The dining room is properly structured, and the dining room table is put in a manner that it enhances, it brings out the richness of the dining room. Somebody comes in and says, look at this dining room table. Look at the leg of that dining room table. What kind of carpenter was that who built it? Would anybody pay attention to that at that point? You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
There is a much higher and brighter concept being expressed over here than the skill of the carpenter. That's a sphirot hagnusis relative to the Ayin Sof. It's not the skill of the carpenter. The Ayin Sof brings out the Ayin Sof in everything. All of a sudden you're paying attention to the carpenter. That you see would be bottle gami ba'oyin so hablig, third line. Okay, beetle, and this the Rebbe gives us a very well known muscle. But we also have to understand, okay, beetle will be similar to the beetle of Ziv HaShemesh B'Shemesh. Ziv HaShemesh means the ray of the sun, as it is bottled within the sun. Let me stop for a moment, give you a chance to reflect. Do we understand what that means? Why do we say that the Ziv HaShemesh is bottling in the sun? The HaShemesh is coming from the sun.
Should I answer that?
Yeah, yes, please.
Because in the ball of the sun, even though there is a ziv there, it has no presence, so to speak. It has.
Why not?
Because the sun itself is brightness, and the Ziv, within that brightness doesn't have any recognition.
Pourquoi?
It's because the brightness of the sun is in itself, in the ball of the sun, is a total brightness, and brightness, any other brightness is minuscule to.
It means a smaller brightness. What is the meaning of this? Why is it bottled? Okay, it has no significance, but it's not bottled. Doesn't bottled to the point of unrecognizable.
But it seems to be unrecognizable.
That's what the Rebbe says. I'm asking you how come.
Because it's still in its source. It didn't leave its source.
So
in the source is the essence of light.
Yeah.
And it is a shine that is still in the source, in the essence.
What is the difference between the essence of light and this light? This light comes from the essence of light.
But it doesn't come out, it's within.
So I'm talking about within. So why do you think that it's bottled? Okay. I'm challenging you because I want you to listen to the answer.
Yeah. Okay.
So that and if you don't understand it, please tell me I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise we're going to go back and go to a different concept.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try to answer?
You want to say the answer? Go ahead.
Light it means that you shine on something which is source of. But the atom doesn't need any light.
It's what?
It's like there already. Light means that we need to shine on something which there is no light. But in the same way there is no concept of no light. That's the essence.
Right.
So where comes in light in the Shemesh? There's no such a thing as light. There's no use of light in the Shemesh. Light to light up what?
Okay, that's correct. But to put, so to speak, the nail in the hole completely, it means that because there is an essence, because in the Guv HaShemesh, denies the whole possibility of darkness. Not it eliminates it, it conquers it. It denies the entire possibility.
Is there a possibility to have a Ziv in the Shemesh?
Yes. But the Ziv is bottled. Because the whole thing of the Ziv is illumination. Illumination exists when there is the need for when there is a darkness. The Shemesh does not know of such a concept of illumination. As we said, please listen to this word. We said many times, light to the sun is of the same fundamental reality as darkness in the world. We can't even conceive of that. But that is the reality of the sun.
So, bittul implies that it's there, but it's
That's right.
but it's what do we say, non-functional. What do we say about it?
Non-present.
So that's something really beyond what a person can naturally sense. Although you bring Yom to express to explain
that's
this.
Right. In Yom, we discussed it many other times, because Yom is is not light. By day, you can't even imagine that it could be dark.
Is Yom a mashal for Ziv Hashemesh B'Shemesh?
Yeah. Only a mashal, because Hashem B'Shemesh is even more complete. But yes, Yom is the means by which the Eibishter has put that aspect into our world. To a limited degree, because Yom has its time, and then it's replaced with darkness. The Shemesh does not have that cycle. What's the point of this whole discussion? That the brightness the brightness of the sun, so to speak, is not bright. It's in a different category than light. The category of light is that it battles darkness. The brightness of the sun does not recognize darkness at all. It's in a different category. When the sun comes, it does not say, "Oh, listen, I'm here, don't worry, it's going to be light." There is no darkness, there's nothing to fight. Let me take this one further step. When you have a switch on a light, and it's lit up in this room, can we understand that in essence the room is still dark, except that the light is fighting, is pushing away the darkness?
It's not easy to go there, but you could think that, yes, if you thought about it.
You have to be able to think that. This is simple intellect.
Well, at its immediate instant that it occurred, you could say that. But
all the time. The light is constantly contesting the darkness, and the darkness contesting the light. It remains darkness in essence. And the light is simply shining, enabling you to see in the darkness. That's what light does. Because in essence it's dark. And the light makes you able to see objects within the darkness. Just as you're able to touch the objects in the darkness, even though you don't see them, you're able to see them also in the darkness. By day, you see them not in the darkness. You see them in their reality. That they are, in essence, visible. You're not fighting darkness. You have to be able to conceptualize this, to see this. And this is what we're saying, that this Ziv that can illuminate darkness Yitzulei B'Yarech is in a different category than the sun itself. That is brightness itself. Doesn't leave the possibility for darkness. Not that it illuminates darkness, but it leaves the possibility of darkness. Because the sun says, I don't know what you're talking about. As far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as darkness. That's the message of the sun. You're looking for a ray, I don't know what you're looking for. So that the ray inside the sun is totally bottled. It has no significance, it has no function, it has no identity. Identity of a ray is only if there is any kind of far removed dark function for it. Okay? Yeah? This is what we say. That if there were no tzimtzum at all, and there would be the oil inside the gil, but then the gvul would not be recognizable. The oil inside, the sphirot agnuzes, as they are in the would not be able to be recognizable. You can't draw it from there. As we see in the Moshe from the Shem, that the Ziv Hashem is Pnei Oir Beguf, the third line, the third line. The Pnei Oir Guf Etzem Hashemesh, because of the oil of the Guf in Etzem Hashemesh. Shemei Hashem. Let's translate these words. Okay, here's the real title. The oil of the Guf in Etzem Hashemesh. Talking about oil. The oil that represents the guf and etzem hashemesh, shemei Hashem. What is this oil of the guf and etzem hashemesh, shemei Hashem? This oil is an allusion to the fact that the sun is there. Just like we said there is the oil of the human being in his home. And as soon as the human being steps into his home, he fills the entire home. The oil of the Etzem itself, the oil that introduces the Etzem. Like the presence of a very wealthy person in the presence of the king. The oil of the king is of a different caliber than the oil of a wealthy person. The oil of the present wealthy person is that he is able to do anything he wants to do. The oil of the king is that he doesn't need to do anything. What is the principle of the king? That over Malki Ol Kartura, the Gemara says. The king says, and the mountain moves. Excuse me, you're disturbing Yitzchok's. Tell him. You want to? Your humming in Yitzchok is disturbed. That's all. Doesn't mean. Do you understand the difference? the king also eliminates any obstacle, but not by eliminating the obstacle. There is no obstacle to begin with. How do you move a mountain? You have to, contract and so forth. The king, Omer Malkal HaTorah, here by his utterance, the mountain moves. In the presence of the king, everything accommodates the king just the way he wants it. That's the concept of a king. The sun versus the ray of the sun is like a king. So the oil of that presence completely eliminates the presence of anything else, of any other light. This is a physical mashal for us to understand the principle of Ayin Sof versus Koyah Gvul. And now we are going to go. I'm surprised the Gabi didn't come complaining yet. Okay.
Oh,